Okay everybody, I'm back and I'm going to be working on the skin tones with this one. And hopefully you won't be able to hear this, but I'm just going to say it just in case, because I can't hear the video until I actually go replay it. But I know my first video, here's my skin tone colors that I'm going to be using. E0000, E51, E11, and R20 for the cheeks. So, I do have my TV on in the background, and I apologize, but I don't have it on that loud. And, if you're watching this, like, here recently, after I put this up, I am watching the Jodi Arias trial, and I got that on. She's getting ready to take the stand again, or ask her questions or something. And I like to follow stuff like that, so I don't believe you're going to be able to hear it in the background, but if you do, I apologize. It's not that loud. Okay, I'm going to start out here with my E0000, because that's my lightest color, and I'm going to go ahead and work on her skin. Now, when I do this, when I do the skin, I just start out just putting some color down. And with this one, I just go in circular motions. Okay, I'm just going to work on her face, and then I'll do and her ears. So there's an ear here. An ear right there. Then I'm going to go in with my E51, which is my medium color. And I'm going to pull that out, but not as far as I went with the E0000. I go, I don't know, about halfway out. Like, I went all the way into here with the E0000, and then I only went to like right here with the medium tone. Okay. And again, I just go from my lightest to my darkest, and then from my darkest to my lightest. Now my E11, that's my darkest, and I use this very sparingly, just where there's going to be shadows. And I'm really not good with coming up with where all the shadows are, but I do know, like, underneath her hairline, there's some shadows, and then I'll just do a wee little line down here at the very bottom of her face. Okay, then I'll go back in with my E51 and blend all that out. And like I said, when I color, I use circles, small circles I do, or little flicking motions. And then, actually let me take this out just a wee little bit more. And then back in with my E0000, which is my lightest, and I go over everything again, and I pull that color up. And then up here, I pull it down. And if you see any kind of like harsh lines, I really blend them out, because I don't want harsh lines. Okay, that's blended pretty good. I'm just going to go back in with a little bit of my E11. And like up here, I know it's going to be pretty dark up here, because that's like the hairline. And then over here. And I leave it alone. I put my cheek color in, which is my R20. Okay. And I just go right where those little dots are. I just put a little bit of color. Now, because this is so wet, I don't have to blend it out any. But I just take my E0000 and I just dab over that real lightly, just to help it blend. Okay. Perfect. That's it for the face. So then I'm going to go to the arms and underneath her neck right here. Put some color down. And you know, when I forgot, or when I was doing the face, I forgot the ears. I always forget this little girl's ears. So I'm going to go back in there and do those here in a minute. Okay, then my E51. Then my E11. And I use that E11 real, very little of it, not a lot. Back in with my E51 to blend. And then my E000. And that is it for the skin tone. So very simple. These are my go-to colors for my skin tone. So I normally don't use anything more than that. And you may be looking at this now and it may be looking, I don't know. I really don't know how to say it, but once your Copics dry, they look more blended. Like everything settles into the paper. And I like to say it flattens itself out. I really don't know how else to describe it, but once this sits and dries, it's just, I don't want to say it changes colors, because it doesn't really change color, but it does just soften out a little and, I don't know, flatten out. It just softens itself. So that's the skin tones. That's how I do the skin tones. I'm going to go ahead here and work on some of the outfit, because I think I have enough time for that. So let me just pull my colors out here really quick. Okay, for the outfit I'm using RV 10, 11, and 13. And R22. So I'm going to start out with the lightest again. It says RV10, it's my lightest. And I'm just going to put some color down. Now when I do down here in the pants, I want to stay away from these little dots, because I'm going to fill those in with a darker color. I mean, if I get it in the dots, it's like not the end of the world. It's not going to hurt anything, but I do want to try to stay out of them. Okay, then I'm going to go on with my RV11, which is my middle tone. There we go. Ooh, excuse my fingernails. They definitely need painted. Feeling lazy lately. Okay. So I'm just going to go in with this color. Okay. Then I'm going to go back in with my RV10 and blend this out. And I'll tell you why I didn't use my darkest right here, because when I was practicing, I really didn't like the way it came out too much. So I'll just use my RV13 for like my highlighting and shadows, if that makes sense. Okay, and then my RV13 I'm going to go in with. There we go. And I'm just going to create some shadows where I know they're going to be, like underneath this neck, down in here, and then over here I'm just putting them on the pants, right on those lines that's already there. And underneath the buttons. And that's going to be it for the shadowing. And then I'm just going to go in a little bit more with my RV11. And then I'm going to go back in with my RV10 and just blend. Now when I work back down here in the pants, I want to stay away from those little lines, because I really don't want to blend those out too much. Okay, so that's it for that. Now I'm just going to take and color in my little dots, and I decided to use R22 for that one, and there's no blending with that one. There we go. I'm just putting that one little color down, and just going to lightly take that tip over that. And you see here, the color just fills in. Okay, done with that. And then we're just going to work on this headband here real quickly. I'm using the same colors for the little headband, the bow, and the barrette and the hair. So, go ahead and start out with RV10. Now, because this is rounded on her head, I'm going to go with this definitely with flick motions. And I'm going to start out and I'm going to flick. And I'm leaving some white spot there. Now, because this little area here is so small, it's not going to take a lot of color. Then RV10, no, 11, because that was 10. And I'm going to take that flick motion out, but not as far as what I took the last color. And then the 13. And again, not as far, whoops, as I took the 11. When we're working in these little areas here, it's so hard. Then back in with the 11. And then with the 10. Okay. And that is that. The hairband is done. So we're going to work on the bow. And for the bow, it's going to be very simple. There's really not going to be any kind of blending because I didn't blend with my color down here. I'm just going to color it, just R20. If you wanted to, you could use, or R22, you could use R20 with this to blend it out a little if you wanted to. But, again, the area is so small that you really don't need to. A little trick I am going to show you that I do because I didn't do any kind of blending on that, is I'm just going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to swipe a little here in the middle and out like that. And now we'll just soften it up a little bit to give it a little bit of a shadow look. Alright everybody, that's going to be it for this section. So we did the skin tone and the outfits. The next part I'm going to work on the little hat and the fence. So that will be part 3. And then part 4 I'm going to do the grass and the sky. Alright, so thanks for watching. If you're interested in watching the next part, it should be posted here shortly. Thank you. Bye.